Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Director's Garage Live Hump Day Happy Hour Hangout. Oh, and it's a special COVID edition. Yeah, boys, I got the old virus. So my plans for the week and my plans for doing more shows and getting this double unboxing done, Atrium. Getting this double episode out has just gone by the wayside, unfortunately. So I'm kind of just, because I can't hear well. And if I can't hear well, how am I going to assess a headphone? I mean, it just makes no sense at all. So that's I guess the biggest headline out of this week was like I wasn't feeling well. I was a little under the weather on Saturday for the Hangover Hangout, and talk about that in a second. And then, well, you know, and then it turned out it was COVID, because my buddy called me on later on Saturday, and he said, you know, he goes, "You're not feeling it?" He goes, "You got COVID, dude?" And I'm like, "Oh, I didn't even think about that." You know, it's like been so out of our conscience for so long, it never even dawned on me. So I said, you know, "Babe, we got a, is it Mrs. Director?" I talked to her like Mrs. Director. I call her Mrs. Director. There will be no sex involved. No, just kidding, guys. When I talk to her, I'm like, you know, do we have any COVID tests around? And she goes, "Yeah, there's one in the drawer over by the sink." I'm like, "Okay, great." I took it. I'm like, "Oh crap." So yeah, so I've had COVID for the last couple of days. I'm on the back end of it, but I'm a little. This isn't going to be the longest live stream in history, that's for sure, because I'm going to fade fast here. But yeah, so that's kind of put a wrench in my plans on getting an episode out this week. It was good planning on, you know, I figured I'd have it out on Tuesday and whatever. I just never got around to shooting it because, you know, my hearing is wonky and tinnitus. That's what we're going to talk about today. One of the many things we're going to talk about today. Got to turn the little light on up here. Sorry. Because somebody was asking me in a previous live stream, can you go a little more in depth about tinnitus? And my answer is yes, I can. I'm going to knock this down just a little bit. The sun's still coming in. I just started a program for tinnitus treatment. There's a few of them out there right now. And they've tried all sorts of things over the years. None of them have worked. This has been the most promising technology to date, and I'm going to show it to you right now. It's called Neosensory. This is the thing, and I'm trying this. And I know this isn't a plug. I'm just telling you what I'm doing so you guys are aware, and I'll get back to you if there's results. So. It's a wristwatch, basically. It looks like a wristwatch anyway. And it comes in this box, and it looks like this. And you turn this thing on, and there's an accompanying app called Neosensory. So what you do is you turn this thing on, and it connects to the wristband. And you set... You click match your tinnitus, and it plays a tone. I don't know if you can hear it. It probably isn't playing it right now, but you match your tone, and mine happens to be almost right around 10,000 hertz. And because tinnitus is this situation where your brain is constantly generating a tone. This isn't coming from your ears, it's themselves. This is your brain, for whatever reason, got triggered. In my case, it was because of a bad airplane flight. And it generates this tone at around 10K for me. It's at different frequencies for everybody. Everybody gets a little different thing of it. So anyway, what you do is you match your tinnitus ring on this app by playing it, and you put this watch on, and you start. And these things there's 3 pads here. I don't know if you can kind of see that, but let me take this away. It'll help. There's 3 pads here, and these 4 pads, they vibrate, and they vibrate against your wrist. And this is called bilateral stimulation. I'm going to turn this off because it is buzzing like crazy right now. it's called bilateral stimulation, and what it's doing is it starts playing this series of tones that are around the frequency that you set it to, and it simultaneously buzzes in your wrist. And what it's supposed to do is, over time, through this buzzing on your wrist, retrain your brain to ignore and eliminate that tone. And it's had success rates at around 65-70%. And I'm hoping that I'm in that 65 to 70%, because if I can eliminate this shit, it's going to be a whole new world for me. So this is one of them. There's a couple of other ones. There's one that's even had better results than Neosensory, and it's this device that you put in your mouth, and it stimulates your tongue while it plays tones. It's the same concept, just a different method. But that one, there's a huge waiting list for, and you don't know when and if you'll even get accepted to the program. This one, it's not cheap. It's this thing costs $250 for 2 months. And then if you want to buy the thing, and 2 months is when it's supposed to really have done its magic, if it's going to. And I've only been doing this a couple of days. I can't tell you if it's working or not. I really don't know. But I've been using this thing for a few days now, and they say in 2 months it should make a difference. And if you want to keep it, you have to pay another $750. So it's a $1,000 investment. However, for someone like me, I would pay $5,000 if somebody could just eliminate this brain-generated noise from my body, because it's annoying. It's always there. You've learned, you learn to look past it. You learn to, your hearing kind of compensates for it. But it's really and a lot of people listen to loud music when they were kids. Like, they all developed it. Rock concerts, people go to rock concerts, your ears ring afterwards. Well, it's like that, but it sticks around. And like I said, mine was medical. I got sick on a plane, and my ears got plugged, and it just generated all this tone. And it's something I've had to deal with for about 10 years now, maybe a little less than that. But I'm super excited that this is a program that actually has had some results. So I am going to be doing this, and I will report back to you as time progresses about how it's going. But I wanted to share that because somebody was asking, hey, what's that about? What's that about? I've got the same thing. That's what it is. It's this company, Neosensory. They have a website. You can just Google it, and you can get on their website. It also acts, if you're having hearing problems, it also acts as a as a hearing aid. And what you do is you'd wear this wristband all the time, and it reacts to the sounds that are in the room. And what it does is it gives you when somebody's speaking to you, or speaking in the room, you feel the vibrations of their voice in your wrist. It's very interesting, and I can see how if I had a hearing problem, an impediment, it would be really helpful, because in addition to, say, something like a hearing aid, it would be a great secondary cue for your brain that somebody's talking to you. Very interesting stuff, but I'm glad that somebody has finally picked up the mantle on this and is starting to come up with some ideas for solutions. So that's one thing. The other thing I was doing was I kind of want, I got the new iPhone. I was just showing that off, wasn't I? Oh, where'd it go? There it is. I did get the new iPhone, and I really like it, and I love the camera, but I really wanted to use it as a music player, but I wanted to wire into it. So, because I do have my Focal Mystiques, which I think I said are on sale on Drop last week. I don't know if they're still there or not, but they're my favorite true wireless IEMs, and that's great. But there are times when I want something a little more, even better fidelity. And for that, I want to wire direct off the iPhone. Now, this is when I don't have my music player. I have the Astell&Kern AK 2000, 1000. This is the 1000. And I'll upgrade this someday. I mean, there's just a lack of funds right now. But I wanted to be able to listen to music, so I bought a dongle for the iPhone, this guy right here. And this is USB-C to, in this case, it's 4.4. Because I wanted to try some of my higher end headphones out. What does it sound like just out of the iPhone? And as it turns out, after doing tests with some of the IEMs I have around the house, and I didn't check every single one of them, but I checked my go-tos. I checked the Timeless AE, and I checked the Ragnar, the Noble Ragnar. The iPhone just doesn't have enough power to drive the Ragnar well. The bass was really lacking, and it didn't get all that loud. But the other Noble that I had sounded wonderful, and that's these are balanced armatures. These are the K10L. You see these come up in different places, but this is a very special pair. Let's see if I can get this. These were made for me as a gift by Dr. John Moulton. He and I have been exchanging, and I said, I always wanted, one of your very special designs. And he said, I'd love to build you one. And he said, what would you like? And I said, I want you to do something that's creative and from, that speaks to you. What's a pair that speaks to you? So he said, all right, and then he sent me these. And these are burl, and they are the most beautiful wood designs, and they're hand carved and they're hand lacquered, and these things mean so much to me. I'll never ever in a million years get rid of them because he made them for me specifically. But it turns out, for coming direct out of the iPhone, a balanced armature is a really efficient driver, and it's really lit these things up wonderfully. So there was some new music on Tidal that I just wanted to check out, and one of them was I listened to some Black Keys. I Forgot to Be Your Lover. It's modern soul, very nice, great instrumentation. I really liked it. There's like a Hammond organ going on, some wah guitars. I was a huge fan of that. And I listened to the new, pardon me, there's going to be some coughing involved today. I'm sorry. I'm going to apologize in advance. And I'm filling time so you guys can fill up the chat with stuff, and then we'll go on to that. And then I listened to the new Sheryl Crow song. The album's not out yet, but the new song is called Do It Again. And for me, it's a real return to what I loved about Sheryl Crow. It's right in her lane. It's not out of the box. She didn't stretch. She didn't try something different. She wrote a Sheryl Crow song. And it's just a perfect Sheryl Crow song. It's like a return to form. It's like something I would have heard in the mid 90s. And it sounds wonderful. So check those two out. That's my two artists for the day, Black Keys and Sheryl Crow. And I think Sheryl Crow went way astray in the mid 2000s and hasn't done anything that I particularly latched onto for a long time. But I was very impressed with that song. I thought that was really it just sounded like everything she's ever done. And that's great, because her sound is interesting when it's just being her and she's not trying to stretch to be a pop star or anything else. She just wrote one of the songs that she's great at doing. Cheers, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Sorry, my voice is a little down if you missed the very top of the show. Your director has COVID. So I am doing this broadcast COVID. I hope you don't catch anything through the microphone. Cheers, cheers, cheers. Last thing I'm going to talk about before we get to the chat is the Hangover Hangout went down last Saturday. I mentioned this last week on last week's show. Some of you guys did at the last minute join the Patreon. It's $3. Don't just ignore all the signage. If you contribute $3 or more, you're in. You'll get into the next Hangover Hangout. And if you want to check out what we did last Saturday, go ahead and subscribe to Patreon. I'll send you a link to last Saturday's video because we had a special guest. Those of you who were there already know. Special guest was Zach from ZMF. He was our surprise guest. I didn't announce it in advance because I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to drop by, how long he would drop by, whatever. And it turns out that Zach jumped right in, and he was there at the start. And he previewed for us. He gave us looks at several ZMF prototypes that are pre-releases. including the upcoming ZMF Caldera and the open back bokeh, or bouquet, depending on how you like to say it, which was really cool. And in fact, I played back the recording of it, which I will provide to anybody who subscribes to Patreon. I'll send you a link. People who are already on Patreon got a link to this video already. But the gasp of all the guys when he showed off the new Caldera closeback was like, oh. Including me. I was like, because Zach went away from this classic round design. He did something special on the cups, and I don't want to, he didn't tell me I could give it away here, so I'm not going to out of the public, but it's spectacular. It's like a whole new thing from Zach, and seeing him go in a different direction with wooden cups the dude's got some major creative genes in him, and it was super cool. And Ryan Dietz was also there. He was lurking for most of it, but then he came on at the end and talked some shop about his amazing mod house, Tungsten. And again, if you join the Patreon for $3, I'll send you a link to that video, and also you'll have an invite to the upcoming, the next one. And Zach has already told me he super enjoyed it, and I got to thank Kevin too, who is his quality control manager at ZMF. Kevin was there also and just lended some thoughts on his favorite designs, and he's a huge fan of the Atrium. And he was also really cool. Another, just cool headphone guy hanging out on a Saturday, giving us thoughts and stuff, and telling us his interest. So Zach has already said he wants to come back to the Hangover Hangout. And I'm going to drop this on Ryan. I don't know if Ryan's here right now. Is Ryan in the audience? It doesn't look like he's here. But Ryan, he told me that he wants to have a conversation with Ryan for that crowd. He goes, he really liked the guys that were in, and he loved the questions that were asked. They were all like geeky, interesting questions. Nobody was like calling him out for stuff. It was just a bunch of enthusiasts talking about headphones with a guy who happens to be one of the premier headphone makers in the world right now. It was a great session, and he was around for at least an hour, maybe 90 minutes, and it was a lot of fun. I had my own questions to ask him, and then our viewers, because it's two ways, and we can show things. We have a camera that goes both ways. Zach was able to hold up stuff and go, check this out. This is the new, this is the, whatever. So very cool. And so he wants to come back and do a thing with Ryan, who's not here, but he would like to have a conversation with Ryan for that crowd. And I'm like, that would be another. So that'll be sometime in the future. We don't know. I don't know which one, but they're coming, boys, and that's my goal for the Hangover Hangout. It's like to give us an open forum to just hang out and have some fun, and I want to keep trying to get some unique content into that thing. So there's a reason for you to go there. Like, you're going to get something out of it. You're going to learn something. You're going to see something you haven't seen before. You're going to get some information you haven't. Ken from Ken's workshop has been was in the first two. He missed the last one, but like being able to talk to somebody who builds amps for a hobby and give all of that information out, it's just amazing. Like, it's just so cool, because I learn something every time Ken opens his mouth. It's like, it's so cool. So there you go. Those are my main topics for today. We had a great time on Saturday, and the more people who get in there, the more fun it's going to be in the future. And like I said, I'm trying to keep the price as low as possible. I just have to have some sort of payment, because otherwise we'll get all the trolls in there and they'll just disrupt things. So I'm sorry I can't make it free. I would love to make it free. I'm all about free on this show. I'm not getting rich on it. I just have to make it so that it's reasonable, and we're not going to get interrupted by people who aren't like into it like we're into it. So there you go. So let's get to the chat right now. I'm going to do the chat, and then it's going to be a shorter show. Obviously, I'm a little out of steam, and I'm a little out of voice, and you know, yeah, I picked it up last week, probably at a premiere. I was at a premiere in the rain, and there were a ton of people there, and I probably just got too close to somebody and picked up the COVID. But I'm on the back end of it because it started showing up last Friday. It was there Saturday, really there Sunday. Pretty hard there on Monday. I had to mask all day at my shoot and stay away from folks. And then yesterday it started to ease a little bit. Today I feel a little better, but I'm still a little wiped out. You know, that stuff just, yeah, it just takes you away. Okay, so we got Dixter here. Cheers, Dixter. Thank you for stopping by today. Appreciate you. Ken Workshop. Ken, just the best. So good you can make it today. Yeah, we're on the improvement. We're improving. It's just a little bit. Dixter, just curious, did you get to compare your LCD4 to the tungsten? I did a brief thing on that, and I don't think that they compare. They're not alike. The tungsten is, at least the dual-sided tungsten. The LCD4 is closer to the single-sided than the double-sided. The double-sided magnet is really more in that Cisfara Caldera lane. The single-sided is maybe a little closer to the LCD4, but it's got more detail, and it's harder to drive than the LCD4. But I've only, now I've had the dual-sided here for quite a while now, and I haven't been able to really listen to it much because of this, little COVID sidetrack thing that's going on. Oh, it's such a pain in the ass. IMJ was there on Saturday. He joined the crowd. It was good to see him. He had some good questions for Zach. Zach also showed us, he held up like his amp. It's just so cool. God, what a cool guy, we got some great folks in this business. I just had the best time on Saturday. I'm doing this just for the fun of it, man. Ken Workshop said he had minor tinnitus, his tinnitus. Do you say tinnitus or tinnitus? I've always said tinnitus until like all the YouTube videos came out and they all said tinnitus. And I'm like, oh, that sounds weird, but whatever. His went away with mindfulness and medication, and he used ear cleaning oil. Yeah, mine has nothing to do with my ears. This is from the brain, unfortunately. The brain generates this sound. It's not coming from the ears. So like anything I do, there's nothing I can do for my ears that can do it. I can only trigger and, try and retrain the brain. Seems to be the path we're going to try anyway. He does find that some universal IEMs make it bad. Tip microphonics, so he avoids those. It also gets real bad if somebody drops something in a room and it's a high-pitched crack. It really annoys me. Or a loud clap, oh, that zinged me a little bit. It's not fun. At any rate, it's not fun. So I'm just hoping that this treatment can give me some relief, IMJ says he loved the dynamic island on these iPhones. I'll have to check that out. I'm not familiar with them. There's so many IEMs right now. And I was just like, for a lark today, I just went over to the Music Tech website, and I was looking at Unique Melodies stuff, and I'm like, they've got 8,000, 6,000, 4,000, 2,000, 1,800, 14. They have got models going all the way up to $8,000. I'm like, holy God, what do those sound like? Very curious, but I'm also very broke. I'm not going to be buying an $8,000 IEM. But if they wanted to send them to me, I did talk to somebody over there, though, and they were going to try and send me some stuff for the show. But I haven't followed up on it because, I can only do too much. And Zach's got some stuff planned for the Director's Garage, too. I want to be... I'm going to whet your appetite with that. There will be some stuff coming from ZMF this year for the Director's Garage. And he's promised that. So we're going to have some content from Zach coming soon, soonish, whenever he gets to it. And whenever I get to making episodes again. I got to you know, I got to have some balance before I can really start doing episodes. And I'm sorry, guys. I want to keep episodes cranking out, but and running the way I have for the last few weeks, and trip to Jamaica, and the Grammy Awards, and I got SAG Awards coming up. I've got, you know, like all of these things. I had the Oscars luncheon. Like, it's just wearing me down, and it makes me susceptible to something like this COVID shit. The iPhone adapter is actually has a DAC amp inside it. Sound is more a function of the chip they stuffed in there. The USB-C output is actually clean using a luxury precision Cayin RU7. I didn't know that. You know, because the old Lightning, I thought they were just adapting the old Lightning standard, you know, where they were shoving out an analog signal through a couple of the pins in here. But it's possible, I guess, there's a little DAC in there. If that's the case, then I would love to get a little dongle DAC, but I don't want something that's like, you know, Chance. Chance has the Woo Tube dongle, the Tube Mini. I want something that's very, like, almost non-existent, so that I can just plug in and go. You know, like I don't need any extra room. It's not going to take up space. I want something like this that's just like, boom, you're in. So if somebody has recommendations, put them into the chat. If there's something that I should check out for a direct out of, and I'm looking to 4.4 because most of my good headphones are 4.4. I also like that this thing, whatever if it's not just doing an analog, I thought it was just shoving analog through a couple of the pins, but if it's not, because they did that, they built that into the old iPhones, the Lightning connectors, because they knew when they removed the 3.5 jack on the iPhone, they were going to get a lot of complaints if they didn't have some way for you to wire a headphone into it. But anyway, yeah, if you've got like a simple, like a very minor dongle DAC for an iPhone, I'd be game to check it out. I just don't want it. My qualification is I don't want something big. I don't want something that's clunky. I just want it to kind of fall in line with the cable and get out of the way. That's the goal. Anyway, and then if it's got enough power, it's going to suck the iPhone dry of battery too. So yeah, I don't want to do that either. So anyway, that's it. But I'll check out something like a Cayin, see if Cayin's got something. But put it in the chat if there's something I should check out. Thanks for the tip, Ken. I didn't know that. I thought this was just using a couple of clean feeds off of the analog circuit. MJ, feel better, Director. His wife had COVID last week. Yeah, and I think I gave it to Mrs. Director. Oh, happy Valentine's Day, baby. the most romantic Valentine's Day ever, boys. Us in masks across the room from each other. She's going to be going, gave me this crap, and I'll be going, this is all your fault. You married me. We have a lot of fun around here. Caldera closed. Do you really like the aesthetics? Yeah, IMJ was there. He got to see the whole presentation. IMJ, I assume you were as impressed as I was with Zach and Kevin and everything that went down. That was so cool. Ridiculously cool. Ken Workshop, what's the brand of the DAC DAM? Yeah, that's what I was asking. He has a luxury precision W2 and the Cayin RU7. Okay, that's Ken. You may have the chat comment of the day. I'm copying this over so I don't lose it. Oh, I got a cool quote to share with you at the end of the day. Oh, there we go. I'm going to look that up. He understands it's very tricky, but any chance that the Zoom meets being at a time that's also Australia friendly? The last two have been about 4 a.m. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry, Peter. Yeah, it's hard because, like, you know, everybody's in a little different time zone, and out east, I don't want to go too much later because the guys out east can't jump in. So, like, I was gonna, if anything, I would move it earlier, but that's gonna be even worse for you, my friend. I'm so sorry. But again, you can at least get the replay. And that's that, you know, you can always at least see the replay. I'd love to have as many people on these things as possible. I just don't know how much later I can go, because then I start finishing. I'd be finishing around 1 or 2 in the afternoon here, and that's not going to work for my marriage. There's that little thing called a marriage to consider always. If I'm finishing around 2, it's going to be like, and what have you been doing all day? You're talking with your friends? It's not like that, guys, but it's fun to play like it is. But we'll see what we can do. It's really hard for me to shift later. If anything, I could shift earlier if that helps people. I don't mind putting myself into a little bit of pain and doing it at like 7 a.m. if that helps, but in West Coast time. But I'm afraid that I'm really going to be excluding the East Coast if that's the case. And that's where I've got, you know, like Ryan comes in from the East Coast and whatever. Okay, thought you were talking about the cable. What's up, Air Director? Cheers, Marco. Yeah. Chance D, thank you, Director, for the Hangout. It was boss. Yeah, Chance was there. He has some great questions. Some great questions of Zach. He had a lot of interesting comments and stuff. We learned a lot just because of everybody's questions. It was great. Yarrick Harmoning. Hey, first live show for you. Well, then, here's the way we do it, Yarrick. We raise a glass to you. Everybody raises a glass to you. We offer you a cheers around the globe, give you some good vibes for the day, and welcome to the live stream. We do this for everybody who drops in for the first time. We try to raise a glass to them and give them a little cheers. It is a happy hour, even though I'm sucking back water right now because, you know, COVID. He actually checks the replays. Well, that's cool. I'm glad people watch them. They don't get the views of the normal show, understandably. It's not as produced. It's just kind of me sitting here chatting and running my mouth, which a lot of people hate. I'm an acquired taste. What can I say? Questyle M15 is a great dongle. Copying that over, IMJ. Thank you. Thanks for the recommendation. I'm just looking for something for a little zhuzh. Because I don't always have this, you know, my point is that I don't always have this with me. And this thing's a beast to carry. I mean, it's an extra 3-4 pounds. It's not, this thing is a brick. It's a solid copper brick. It's great, but it's like I don't always want to carry that. I just sometimes just want, hey, I got my phone with me no matter what. I want to just listen to some music in the best way I can. So that's a possibility. Anyway, and I checked out Sheryl Crow because of it. So great. 100% impressed with Zach. Looking forward to interacting with him more. Yeah. And he wants to come back, so that's fantastic. I had a great time with him, and I think the world of those guys. I really do. And that probably comes across, and I don't care if anybody calls me fanboying. I'm going to be a fanboy. I think they make great stuff. Again, you know, these things. The best, prettiest headphone I think ever designed. I don't think it's going to be a long time before somebody out Zach's Zach. That is amazing and inspired. And I'll give you one tease. You'll notice that my Caldera is missing. Guys on the stream know what's going on, but yeah, there's movement afoot on the Caldera front, boys. There's no Caldera in the background right now. Dun dun dun. I love a good tease. Ken says RU7 is the best sounding, but the battery draw is stupid. He would avoid it. Well, then I won't do it. Yeah, I got to keep batteries going. But I did show off. This is one cool thing. Let's see if I got it. It might be in my bag down here with all my pills. Because I brought up, here it is. This is the coolest thing of the new iPhones. The back is magnetic, as you know, for the MagSafe power adapter, but they also developed like a wallet that you can just snap back here to hold a couple of credit cards if you're going out and about. But they've developed batteries that just hook up and automatically start charging your phone. So this is a 10,000 milliwatt battery that charges, and you just stick it to the phone, and you're charging your phone. They used to make cases, like elaborate cases with batteries in them and all sorts of stuff. Now you just got this light little battery pack that just starts charging your phone. How cool is that? So maybe, you know, if you got a little extra battery, you know, maybe it's not such a big deal to have a draw on it. I don't know. Just a thought, though. Just a thought. The luxury precision W4 is top of the hill. The original W2 is more compatible. Find it used. The W2 131 has issues. Oh boy. I gotta copy that whole thing now so I don't order the wrong thing. I'm gonna email Ken. Ken, is this what I should be buying? Tell me, man. Okay. He likes a used sound good. Oh, hi, Mrs. Director. Good sound, decent power draw delivery. Okay. Well, I'll check with you offline when we get down to there. Like I said, we're not going to go tremendously long today just because I'm not feeling so well. So, you know, ask your questions in the chat and we'll get to some stuff. But Hipster Cow, was great seeing you all this weekend. It was just awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah, and it was truly a great time. And everybody had such great content to add to that. I want to do more of those things. I just got to find time, and you know, I think, you know, once, twice a month, you know, that's kind of the goal for the thing, at least out of the gate. Because I also I want to book good content. I don't want to just have it be like us sitting around. There's nothing wrong with us sitting around talking and have that part of it. But I like to have something to show you guys. Like, it was awesome having Ryan come in and talk about his Mod House Tungsten, you know, and talk about that. And I'm trying to get some other guests. I want to get some other interesting folks on that. We're talking about the Patreon Hangover Hangout, so that it's like, it's not just like, it doesn't feel icky. It just feels like, hey, we're actually having a discussion and things are happening, you know, beyond just me running my mouth. Yeah, it was awesome. What an awesome hangout that was. Dixter says, look into the DD Hi-Fi offerings for inline DAC. All right, I'll copy that one. Put that down here. But very cool stuff. I'm interested in just the iPhone solution because I listen to a lot of Tidal, and you know, Tidal out of the phone. If I can get a halfway decent DAC, something, it's kind of attractive for moving around and moving about, and you know, if I'm going on a trip somewhere or whatever, not having to carry, you know, put an extra 3 or 4 pounds in the bag. Although it's really nice, you know, get on a plane and put those Viking Ragnars onto that. It's like, oh, it's a nice time. It's a good time. But I can't always bring that. You know, sometimes I just want to be lighter. Really like the design and the sound. Ken Workshop says, I really like the design and the sound of the Caldera. Heck, it even sounds good on dongle DACs to bring it back to those. Yeah. That's one of the points I made on Saturday, and one of the points Zach made is like, he made that, he wanted to make something that was easy, you know, not so hard to drive, and not like the Sesfara in that way. But he also said he didn't like necessarily go after the Sesfara with the Caldera. It was more like he wanted to do a planar magnetic, and it just happened to come out that way. But it's like he actually wants them to sound different and have their own little flavor. He doesn't go after, whereas Ryan's approach, he's been unabashed saying, I wanted to make a Caldera kind of sounding headphone that didn't cost as much. So, you know, and mission accomplished on both accounts. Just great stuff, man. It's a great time to be in this hobby, isn't it? But I love the sound of the Caldera. That's certainly I've called it many times. I called that my headphone of the year for last year. And I was surprised it wasn't even mentioned in some of the other write-ups for the year's best. Okay, so IMJ says, honestly, the longer you use dongles, the more he doesn't like them. They are fiddly and no good. no way to secure them other than with maybe a rubber band. Well, I'm just looking for something simple, like a, you know, like a simple inline solution like this that isn't, you know, just clicks in and click your headphone into that and you're done, you know. But yeah, you know, I don't want something that's like got to strap the. I want to avoid having to do something like, you know, you stack this to this and then you rubber band it. I don't want a huge deal like that. I want to keep it like simple and easy to you know, plug in and go. So on the go, it's not like I'm carrying a whole bunch of extra stuff. Because yeah, I can build a stack with this. I can take this and I can put the WA11 Topaz, a phenomenal little portable amp DAC situation. I could stack that with that, and like I could build one heck of a nice sounding portable rig. But sometimes I just want the phone. You know, I want the simplicity of this. And I do, like I said, I do have the Mystique, which sounds great, but you know, 10 drivers aside and beautifully, you know, oh, this is more, you know, this sounds even better than the, you know, and it should. These cost a lot more than the 2 or 3 driver. I think it's 3 drivers in the Mystique. You know, so it's just another option anyway. But I can see your pain, you know, you know, and I don't want a big stack either. Hipstercow says he agrees. He has the Muse M3 Mark II, and it's a pain to use. Sounds fantastic. Cottis T is a cool design if they just added MagSafe to it. God, you guys have some products here that I just am not familiar with, so I'm going to have to copy and paste and look up. And I'll give, if I can get some of this stuff in here, I'll do a review on it. IMJ, he agrees. He uses them for work and stuff them in his jacket, in his pocket. He also says the output of the newest Mac Pro laptops is actually quite impressive. Yeah. I have, my Mac laptop is so old. This, what year is this? Does this say? My laptop that I use for the music, and this is my only and latest laptop, a 2015 MacBook Pro. I have had no need to upgrade because I have a big system here that I use to cut the show on. I have the big Mac Tower, and I just don't use a laptop that much. I do use an iPad constantly for writing and doing other things. I just don't have a need for a big laptop now. I used to when I'd go in the field and I'd have to record tracks and email them back and stuff, but the iPad does it all now easily, and it's less space and lighter. So I just take the iPad with me and a mic kit when I'm traveling. I don't bother with the laptop anymore. The only time I would bring a laptop with me is if I know I'm going to have to deal with files. Like I'm going somewhere and they're going to hand me files on a hard drive. I will have the Mac there in case I need to, you know, organize some files or go through stuff and, you know, get it sorted. I might bring a laptop for that, but for file manipulation, a 2015 laptop is just as good as a 2022 laptop, you know. But again, I don't usually buy the latest and greatest. I try to find stuff used. Even my Mac Tower here is a used Mac Tower, and that I bought for like, it's a $18,000 tower that I bought for $9,000, and now it's like worth like $4,000 or something. It's like, God, the depreciation on gear, because everybody's moved on to those M2s and all that stuff, the smaller little boxes for editing. But I'm like, oh, this is what I got. Yes. Okay. So and Chance seconds the Quest Style 15 dongle damp back. Definitely, Marco B says definitely way too early for the East Coast. If you mean my, what's too early for the East Coast, Marco? The start time, it was 9:30, which is 12:30 on the East Coast, 12:30 in the afternoon. Is that too early for you? You're having a hard. It is called the Hangover Hangout, you guys. It should be, you know, a little spicy. It's okay to come in a little ragged to the Hangover Hangout. Ah, too much fun. Too much fun. So now you guys got me thinking about these dongle DACs and stuff. I've had a number of, I've had a number of like portable, like this size things. And I've had like the Pico Slim amplifier from Headamp, and, I've had some portable, I built some portable STAX over the years, but nothing that got like really, I wound up giving up on that, and now, going to lesser and lesser things. And then the other thing is that the quality of this Astell&Kern stuff is so good. And the Cayin, the Cayin, like the N8, it's I don't like this is built 100 times better than the Cayin, but the Cayin sounds to me a little better. Is that wrong? Is it wrong? I think that this has a colder sound to it. The Cayin has a warmer sound to it. So, okay, where are we at in the chat? We'll do a few more, and then I'm just gonna call this a little bit on the early side today, guys. Just understand, COVID is not a fun thing to go through. Any of the M series stuff is so powerful, game changer for processing power. There's not a huge difference between the M1, M2, M3. To be honest, M3 even less due to memory bandwidth. Are we talking laptops? What are we talking about here? Okay, Hipster Cow says, if you're looking for an inline DAC, the iFi Go link is a good option. It doesn't have the same bulk as the Muse or the M15. Oh, okay. Well, I'll check that out. I have contacts at iFi. Back to DACs. RU7, in spite of its power draw, supposedly has a similar circuit trait to their $3,000 unit. Wow. It's just sucking. Sorry, Ken. I just got a little distracted. My brain is working a little on the fuzzy side, guys. But yeah, these things are awesome. I mean, if the idea is just keep it portable and keep it simple for those situations where you're just out and about. I also have one for a 3.5. I don't know if this has got a DAC in it too or not. I got to look that up. I always thought that it was tapping an analog output and redirecting it through the USB port on the iPhone. I know you can tap the digital signal, but I didn't think it was doing it through these simple little adapters for headphones. Marco, you are a vampire. Yeah, he wants like, woo. 12 p.m.'s too early to start. It's funny, man. Cheers, Marco. Man, we're just giving you a little business. Gil Renard says he loves the RU7. All right, I got another vote for that. Apple chips, laptops, yeah. And I'm happy to stand pat with what I've got for a while. I mean, it was such an expensive unit buying that desktop, that full tower system, and I got two video cards in it and blah 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 blah. Like, man, I built that thing out. It's like it does what I need to do. It edits the show wonderfully, but I stuck with the trash can Mac for years beyond when they came out with the new towers. I just had to wait for them to come down enough for it to make sense for me. And even $9,000, that was painful to order. I'm like, you know what I could buy for $9,000? That's halfway to the Mass Kobo, boys. I'd rather get the Mass Kobo and a cheaper computer. Peter T. Cheers, Peter T. We might have to look at an official offshoot for Down Under and call it Gaffers and Grips Garage, though I think that name has been taken by an OnlyFans channel. And somebody's like cutting up some wood outside. There's like a leaf blower or a chainsaw going on. Sorry if you're getting any of that. Yeah, the Gaffers and Grips. Ah, that's so funny. Audio Fool in the house. Man, cheers, Audio Fool. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to be cutting this a little bit short. I'll finish up chat, get your last questions in or whatever. The director has COVID, and we're just kind of like muscling through this live stream to get something out. It's the reason I didn't put anything out this week. I had planned on Friday to record my double unboxing. I've got 2 headphones here that's going to go into the next episode. Same manufacturer. They both sent me something, or the one manufacturer sent me a couple of headphones to review, and I was set to do that. I was all geeked to do it on Friday, and then I woke up not feeling well. And if I'm not talking well and I'm not hearing well and I'm not feeling well, like, there's no point for me to, it wouldn't be fair to the manufacturer to open up their cool headphone and make an episode out of it, you know. So I put that on hold until everything's cleared up, and then we'll do it, and we'll do it right. I'd rather, you know, give you quality over quantity, which is not the YouTube way if you're looking to grow your channel. Yark says his newest setup is an HE6. By the way, everybody, send me your photos of your gear to directorsgarage@gmail.com. My special effect for the day. Send me your photos of your rig. We show them off on the show. It is not critical. I am not going to care if you don't have $7,000 cable lifts on your system. I don't care. I want to just look at some cool stuff and go, wow, look at that. That's all we're doing here. So if you have some photos of your rigs, and Ken's showing some stuff off, and you know, a bunch of guys are sending stuff over time, and it's always cool to check it out. Send me your photos to, and we'll do it on the live stream. It's just for the live stream, nothing fancy. We just pop them up on the air and go, wow, look at that. And I've had some really cool stuff to show off over time. Appreciate all of your submissions. The rest of us, I'll appreciate your submissions too. Newest setup is HE6SEV2 being run off speaker terminals with the HE6 addresses from his Marantz PM8004. I'm not familiar with that one. I know Marantz. I used to have one of their head units, integrated amps for home theater with an iFi Zen 1 signature deck. Yeah, nice stuff, man. The iFi Zen 1, I've got that iFi back here, the signature. It's a Signature Pro, which is a DAC amps combo that I've got to do a review on. That's coming in like 2 episodes, I think. I'll have time to actually sit down and listen to that and make some thoughts, and then send that back to iFi. Appreciate their sending me that thing my way to send out. It's been a long time for them. I got to get that back to them, man. Hipster Cow, I did a tinnitus treatment update earlier. It's going, and I showed off the Neo Sensory. If you guys don't know, go back, watch when we get off the air, and I showed off my the Neo Sensory, the app, how it works and what you do. So anyway, 10 minutes a day. That's all you got to do is listen to these tones and with the wristwatch for 10 minutes per day. I've been trying to do a little more than that, but not overdo it either, just to see if it'll work. And they just sent me a firmware update for the band today, and it seems to be activating these vibrating pods in different arrangements. So they must have found something that was more effective, and they sent out that firmware update today. But yes, essentially, yes, circadian rhythm has been off since listening to headphones, especially since he retired. Well, first of all, let's just raise a glass to Marco B for being in the retirement community. Cheers, brother, you made it. I'm still chasing the dream. So funny, man. Well, good for you, though, man. I am sorry. I don't see myself. Well, we'll see. Maybe I'll do one at like 3 p.m. sometime. But I've got to clear that with Mrs. Director, because that's kind of our day to go out and do stuff together. Because we're always so busy. run separately, and then we come together on certain days to make sure we're spending time together. Because time is a good marriage if you can spend time together, guys. I have some tips. I have marriage tips. I have little marriageisms. I'm gonna write a book someday about that. So I'm sorry about that, but you know, but then again, you're retired, so you don't care. And hipster, yeah, I updated on the tinnitus treatment. It's, you know, still too early. I'm not noticing anything significant in the change, but I'm going through it, and I'm going to continue to go through it. And hopefully within, they say it takes 2 months before you start, you know, getting results on the thing. So I have been doing it daily. I've been trying to do it like 10 minutes in the morning and then 10 minutes to 15 minutes at night. I've been doing it. They just say all you have to do is 10 minutes a day. So I'm trying to do a little more than that, just to maybe nudge it along a little bit, just to see if I can get to something, you know what I mean? And I also started icing my shoulder twice a day. So I've been kind of combining them. I'll ice my shoulder while I'm doing the treatment and knock off 2 birds with 1 stone for the sake of health. But look at this arm. Look how I can move this arm now. There's still some pain here. It still cracks like hell, but I couldn't even do this. Like, this would have me in absolute wincing pain a month ago. And it was thanks to the hemp cream you guys recommended. And then I bought an ice pack and I started icing it. And this is going away. We're working on the tinnitus, man. I'm just all about the health in 2024. Too fun, man. Remind her it's for better or for worse. She reminds me that too. All right, boys. Hey, I want to thank you guys for stopping by. And I'm sorry we couldn't go a real long time today. I'm just fighting the COVID, and you know how it is. You know, sometimes the health is just giving you some hard times, and so we're going through that. If this thing goes away, I will shoot a new episode sometime later this week, and if it's out of my system, and then we'll be back and rolling with regular episodes. But I want to thank you guys for stopping by today. It always means a lot to me to see you guys here. Always good to see your virtual faces and avatars in the chat. And yeah, have yourself a great rest of the week. Go check out some of that stuff I had talked about. Check out the new Sheryl Crow. Check out the Black Keys. You know, stuff like that. Get yourself in and do some good listening. And I'm gonna see you guys before you know it. Cheers, everyone.